you're not going to like it, but the good news is you can do something about it. I'm talking about the World Economic Forum says that you will rent, own nothing, and be happy. But it's not just houses like the one I'm going to walk you through here in just a second. It's cars, it's appliances, it's anything they can fleece to us. The good news is you can buy a house. My name is Wayne Turner. For nearly 30 years, I've done just about everything when it comes to real estate. My ultimate goal is to simplify the process when it comes to buying and selling real estate. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to show you the process and how simple it can be to purchase a house. I'm going to walk you through two houses. This one's priced at $145,000. The payment on this one will run you $1,400 a month. You can buy this house right here for literally no money down. It is not a modular home, it is a stick-built home. I'm gonna walk you through it. The next one is priced at $154,000. Payment on that one will run you about $1,500 a month. That one's gonna need a little bit of work. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Let's take a look. Now this little house is really cool. It's on a half-acre lot and there's no homeowners association. That means you can do anything that you want to with this house. You can have anything. If you want pigs, if you want chickens, you can do anything like that. It's on a half-acre lot. Part of it is fenced. And another cool feature, and I'm always telling people, look for every single thing. There's a slab right there. So if you need to do any kind of crafts, put a work shed, work building, or anything like that, you can do so. How you purchase a house like this for no money out of pocket is quite simple. It's a USDA loan. You can purchase this house with an FHA loan. You need 3.5% down. The seller can pay your closing costs. A good agent will work with you to help you do that. If you do USDA, it has to be in what they call a rural on the outskirts, if you will. Now listen, those are houses in suburban areas. That doesn't mean you have to move way out into the country. Let me show you why. You see, the federal government backs these loans and they're called USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. You've probably seen that if you've ever been to the grocery store and seen it stamped on meat. And it's the same thing, it's the farmers, but you don't have to live way out in the farm. You don't even have to live way out in the boonies. You can live in a suburban area. This house I'm gonna walk you through is literally 30 minutes from New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a major metropolitan city. But where it sits right here, you can buy this house for only $1,000 out of pocket. Let's take a look inside. Now what's really important to know as I show you around is the house that you purchase has to be in pretty good condition. I'm going to show you that next house as I mentioned. This house is flawless. It doesn't need anything. I'll give you a quick look around. You can see it has an open kitchen. Everything in this home is new that you can see. Doorknobs, hinges, solid surface countertops, built-in microwave, all stainless, new dishwasher. Always tell people undermounted sink, and look at the view out your backyard. So if you got kids, people playing, you can put in a pool right over there. You can do anything you want. Once again, there's no HOA. I always tell everybody, put a pantry. Got to have a pantry. It's got a brand new water heater, brand new roof, brand new central air. This house is like practically brand new. Utility room there. Bedroom here. All new floors, all new windows. And it's not a typo, it's $145,900. You can buy a house like this for $1,000. If you're watching this video, I don't care where you are in the country, it doesn't matter, the state, you can Google it. I'll even put a link below. It's USDA, and it will show you a map of these houses and where they're located. Here's a full bath. I mean, the bath has been completely remodeled. Has a linen closet, another closet, room here. I'm just taking you a quick walkthrough just to give you an example. This is what's out there. This is what's available. This is what people are buying. I explain this to everybody because it doesn't have to be that difficult. Here's what you have to do. You have to get your credit score up to a 620. Pull your credit score. Don't be afraid to do that. It's your credit score. Don't blame me. I didn't create the credit score. I think it's crap. Banks created that, and they want you to have credibility. Once you've got a 620 or higher credit score, and you've got taxable income where you've worked 2 years, you've been on the job for 2 years. But here's the thing you need to know. It doesn't have to be the same company, if you will. It just has to be the same line of work. Like literally, if you're doing the same line of work, if you're a waitress or a waiter, if you're an accountant, if you're doing anything, if you're a bookkeeper, if you work at a hospital, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. As long as you have 2 consecutive years of doing the same consistent work, you just can't go from being a brick mason to now a roofer. It's 2 totally different job types, job descriptions. You just have to have the same job description. If you can do that, you can buy a house just like this one. I'll show you something else outside. Now look, I've done a lot of videos about this, and I always tell people, buy a house and make sure you got a lot of good road frontage. But here's another tip. People, you got to look at everything. And what's really important to know is a house has rear yard access. You can see this is my truck right here. I just pulled in to this house. Got lots of road frontage and a big open driveway area. Now go with me here. The reason why it's great to have rear yard access is because you can access the backyard. So if you want to put a boat, a motorhome, an RV, four-wheelers, or anything like that, you're not in an HOA, you can put anything and drive it right literally down your front yard into your backyard, and no one can bother you. Another thing that's really cool about this particular house, I always tell everybody, get the homes inspected. This one has a new breaker panel, new service panel. It also has a new well, and it has a new septic system. And a lot of people are skeptical on that because if you've never lived in a house with a well or a septic system, personally, I would prefer it. The reason why is because I don't have to pay a water bill and I don't have to pay a sewer bill. Now let's take a quick ride over to that other house. If you're still with me, thank you. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I promise you'll learn something new on every single episode. The next house is 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's on city water, city sewer. It's got a 2-car garage. I think you'll like that one as well. It's 1,841 square feet and it's $154,900. Let's go. Now, as I had mentioned, this house is 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1,841 square feet. I'm going to walk you through this house, but I also mentioned, if you'll recall, and that's why we say take notes, that houses that are empty, you'll tend to get a better deal. There's also another little pearl that if a house has been on the market 90 to 120, like 4, 5, 6 months, you're always going to get a better deal. You just have to know that if a home is something that you really like and they put it on the market and you're making an offer within that first 30-day window, you're not going to get as good of a deal because the seller of that property is thinking, well, regardless of your low offer, let's try to leave it on the market a little longer, see if we can't get a better offer. So here's a prime example of a house that's been on the market 90 plus days, just like the other one, where you can get a pretty good deal. Let's take a look inside. Now, as I mentioned, this house is $154,900. If you purchase this house and did an FHA loan, they are saying that this home won't go FHA, and it may be because the central heat and air is not working properly. I'll show you around a few things. Like the central heat and air has to work, the appliances have to work, it has to have a stove. Everything has to work in order to get a USDA or an FHA loan, but you can get a conventional loan. Now, if you get a conventional loan, you only need 5% to put down. So you need 5% of 154.9, but that doesn't mean you have to buy it for that. I would encourage anybody, if a property's listed, it's vacant, it's been on the market for 4 months, don't hesitate to make an offer for 10 to 20% less than what it's listed for, because that's what we're seeing right now in the market. We're seeing a lot of homes, vacant homes, abandoned homes, if you will, foreclosed homes. They're going for a lot less money than they would, say, last year. So this house does need work. You can see it's got a big formal living room, dining room here. We were just over there in the kitchen. Here's the den, it's right here. It's got double French doors. It's on a nice quiet dead end street. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths. I'm not gonna walk you through there. Trust me, this house just needs a little TLC. It needs a little love. It needs new paint, new flooring, those kind of things. But at $154.9, it's not a bad deal. You can see it's got a big patio and everything's in good shape. And how you buy these houses, quite simply, is you gotta have a good experienced agent. If you need one, you can go to WayneTurner.com. If you go to WayneTurner.com, click buy and send me your information. We can get you approved, get you connected with an agent. There's no cost and no obligation. You can choose anybody you want to. I tell people go to a mortgage company or go to a credit union. There's a reason why a lot of the big banks are pulling out of mortgages. If you'll notice, Wells Fargo, big bank, probably heard of that one, and also Capital One. They're no longer doing mortgages. Why? Because it's not profitable. They make more profit lending money on credit cards and car loans and things such as that, as opposed to mortgages. Let me show you something else you'll like. Now, as we walk around here to the side, you can see there's a little bit of siding missing. If that siding is missing, you can't get an FHA loan. The reason why they say that is because they want you to make sure that you can pay the payment and only pay the payment, not have to worry about making crazy improvements. I can tell you this house is about 40 years old and it does have new windows all the way around, which is really cool. And once again, this house, like the other home, has rear yard access. So to me, that's a big thing. I like gas. It does have gas, which is really nice. And the fact that you have rear yard access, you can put an RV, boat, motorhome, anything like that. I try to tell people, you know, when you're looking for a home, you want to look at all the extras. Can you work in the home? Like this home is in a neighborhood, but the HOA is pretty much expired. In other words, it's like 40 years old. It's kind of like a voluntary thing. There was a RV parked in the driveway over there. So it's one of those things where if you're okay looking at others and you're okay that others don't complain about your stuff in the driveway, then you can call this place home. Now, closing costs are what you have to pay to get everything kind of started. It's the upfront cost that you pay, the mortgage, your insurance, all of that stuff is paid up front. And the closing costs can be paid by the seller. That's really important to know. As well as the cost for your agent can be paid by the seller. So when you're looking at buying a piece of property, buying a house, it benefits you greatly to at least talk with a lender so they can tell you, yeah, you're approved, no, you're not. But here's what you can do, because now they have this auto simulation software that can say, okay, well, your score's a 580, but if you paid off this and this and this, it would jump to 620. That's when you start getting creative and go, you know what, I'm gonna sell the motorcycle so we can buy us a house or the boat or the RV or whatever, liquidate a few things, take some cash, pay off some credit, bump your score up to 620 and buy a house. Then you can go get you another motorcycle, boat, or motorhome. Now look, I get it, they don't teach this stuff in school and it drives me a little crazy. You gotta take 2 years of Spanish. Most people can't count to 10, me included. But I have learned in 30 years everything there is to know about buying, selling, flipping, building, you name it, residential real estate. And for me, I'm a big believer in you learn it, you master it, you teach it. So I hope you learned something from all of my videos. My goal is to make it simple, to make it easy in the process of buying and selling a home. If you need help, go to contactwayne.com, go to wayneturner.com. You can Google my name. I'm all over the place. Anything we can do to help. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. I promise you, you'll learn something new on every episode.